Hello. It's been a while since I've done a video blog. Quite excited to do one today. There's been a reason for that, why I haven't been video blogging. I have been, over the last few months, I've dived into my still space. I've dived into present moment, and I've really been working with the stillness. And I think that is, that journey's still going, and I think that that's going to be something we all work on for the rest of our lives. But yeah, that's where I've been. And so I took video blogging off the table, and I thought, well, I would write my posts instead, which is it's been in alignment with how I've been feeling. Anyway, that's a whole nother post of which I will be sharing with you in the future. But for now, today, I have been asked and I've been guided to put out a post on twin flames. Twin flames, sacred counterparts, special relationships between the masculine and the feminine, the man and the woman. I haven't done a post on twin flames before because it's a little bit like debating religion. There's a lot of opinion out there as to whether they actually exist at all. Some people don't believe that they exist. I personally do, because I am a twin flame and I know that to be true, but that's just my experience and what resonates with me. Everybody has their right to their own opinion, and this is the thing, isn't it? Do we even really know? We go all about all these facts and what we read and everything like that. Will we ever really know about anything? No, we won't. But what do we have? We have resonance. So we just kind of take in what works with us and feels good, and then the other stuff that doesn't, we just leave it alone and we carry on. So that's kind of where the angle I'm coming from today. So please don't have a massive debate on on twin flames as to whether it's real or not real. But I'm here today to speak about my experience, and I've been asked to do that because I think what I speak about might be helpful to others. So that's what the main focus of it is really about, really. So twin flames, sacred counterparts. In my opinion, they are really, they're earth workers. They're people that have basically been spiritually put together. Two souls that have come together to do really, really big work in humanity. Soulmates, I believe, are different. Soulmates is that deep, deep, deep connection. The relationship is good and you just fit, and it's just, like a glove. Twin flame relationships, when people say, oh, I'm a twin flame and it's all nice and lovely, I'm like, no, I didn't get the memo on the nice and lovely, because they're tough, they're challenging. They're really challenging. Now, the reason they're challenging is because twin flames, the tone of their relationship is about separation. So they're separate of each other. Most of the time they live in different countries. Most of the time sometimes the twin flame is with someone else, married to someone else. Yet there's this person over here who's going, wow, that's my twin flame. And yeah, that's how deep the separation can go. It can be really painful. So I know that there are lots of different versions of twin flames. I was quite surprised to find that I was one, because I've been married for 18 years. I only really found out and embraced and embodied the fact that I was a twin flame 5 years ago. So I'm going to share my story now. Married for 18 years, found my spiritual path 15 years ago. Husband didn't really understand the spiritual way, but supported me anyway, because I'd come from drug addiction and all sorts of traumas. And all that he needed to know was hey, this chick's doing energy work. She's transformed. She's better. She's a better person. So he's always loved me and held the space for me to just be me, because it was a better version of me. Then years later, he started to sniff around the spiritual path, and we sort of vibed. He never really practiced it like I did, but he was supportive of the space, which is all you can ask for, right? So then all of a sudden, this my path took a turn, and I was I'm being called to move to Cape Town, because I was living in Zimbabwe. So 5 years ago, we all agreed as a family, 2 kids, husband, to move here to Cape Town. And he was supposed to come with. Circumstances changed. Zimbabwe took a turn for the worst, and he was forced to stay in Zimbabwe to keep the businesses going, which means we've been living in separation for 5 years now. We have not been living in the same house, which has been tough because we're very much together. So my separation came from being married for 10 years, and then all of a sudden, or 15 years, whatever, and then all of a sudden changed. And I'm now looking at my relationship pulling out all the spiritual tools I have to figure this out, what's gone wrong. And then after being told time and time again, you're a twin flame, you're a twin flame. I'm not one for labels, I dismissed it. Then eventually all I had left was to look at this twin flame stuff. Didn't even know anything about it. Started to look at it. Every single trait, I was like, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's us, that's us, that's us. Oh my God, I think I might be a twin flame. So I basically put the information in front of my husband's nose. He's very different to me. I get excited about a lot of things and I take everything on board. He's a bit more skeptical and he will say, nah, don't believe it. He read the information, was blown away as much as I was. So it resonated with him. And in that moment, this twin flame understanding came together. And as that happened, everything in our relationship started to change. And what actually happened is we started to deepen in our understanding of our individual spiritual paths and what it meant together, which wasn't a great thing at all because it plummeted us both into deep, deep darkness to go through our healings separate. So he's in Zimbabwe, I'm here in Cape Town. I started to travel and go to Egypt and I went to Peru and I started to do plant medicine. He actually equally did the same thing. He just started to do plant medicine when he was in Zimbabwe. All of these things basically sent us into our shadow selves. So when you are a twin flame, you are going to be called to look into your masculine and feminine balances. So a controlling person is going to be somebody who's way too much in their masculine. Somebody who's over emotional, who's just in the drama, is going to be into far too much into their feminine. So, you know, there's so many different things that can show you that your masculine and feminine is out of balance. But the only time that these twin flame relationships come together is when he's balanced his masculine and feminine relationships within himself, and she has as well. And then the divine twin flame can come together because together they display the perfect balance. That is what union is, okay? And quite honestly, twin flame or not, I believe that our souls are on that mission to get that balance anyway, masculine and feminine. It's the yin and yang. So yeah, I mean, the purposes of these twin flames for me, like I've said before, is about doing big work together, helping the universe, helping the world. Most of the twin flames, in fact, all of the twin flames I know, and who also I see, I don't even know if they know they're twin flames, but I look at people and I'm like, there's another pair. They are all people that are doing integral, important work with the earth, with the stars, with people, and they're helping us ascend. They're helping us heal. They're helping the earth heal. They're helping the world heal. Those are the jobs of the twin flames. They were very much present in the days of Lemuria. If you know about Atlantis and Lemuria twin flames were very much part of everything just being in alignment and, you know, just flowing. And then when the world collapsed and everything fell apart, so did the twin flames. We got spiraled into separation. So we've been walking the earth for all of these lives, for the eons and eons and eons of years, trying to find each other. And now I'm going to back that theory up, because when I met my husband, I was a big drug addict and I was a mess. And I was lucky enough to be sent to Zimbabwe with a friend to go on holiday in Africa to see if I could sort myself out, because I was in a very bad way. And I got picked up from the airport from the son of the people on the farm that we were staying with. And 3 days later, the son asked me to marry him. And I said yes. And 18 years later, we are together. So me and Brendan, my husband, looked at each other, twin flame. Oh, it's you. Oh, it's you. Oh, we found each other. Okay, will you marry me? Yeah, that old thing. Yeah, come on, let's do that. And we got married. We were married 6 weeks later. So you can see that when twin flames come together, there's lots of different ways they come together. As was immediate, but then it took us many, many years to discover that we actually have this twin flame connection. So like I've said before, the traits of twin flame are basically separation. You're going to get the runner and you're going to get the chaser. You get one person in a relationship that just won't deal. They just run. And then the other one which is chase. Yeah? Or the other way round. Or it just keeps crossing. So that's one trait of it. like I've said, there are many, many different kinds of twin flames. There's the married ones who have children that only discover it later on in life. They're the ones that basically meet them for the first time, but they're married to someone else. I mean, like, there's so many different versions, so you cannot put yourself in a box. There is information out there to say there's usually one twin that is more evolved than the other that kind of leads the way. In my dynamic, it's me, but Brendan is very evolved in his areas. So you know what, maybe that's telling us now. We used to have this going on, but like we're kind of getting like this now. So yeah. But either way, they've got to balance their masculine and feminine energy. So that's the journey. That's why we're always in balance like that. So here I am in Cape Town balancing my masculine and feminine energies, and so is he in Zimbabwe. And we're actually starting to do this. So I now always bring it back to Egypt, because Egypt, there were so many twin flames. Mother Mary and Jesus were twin flames. Osiris and Isis were twin flames. And you had Akhenaten and Nefertiti. They were twin flames. I mean, you know, the list goes on. But for now, I'm going to talk about Osiris and Isis, because they're the most strongest energies that basically are prevalent in the beginning. And they dictate about this masculine and feminine balance. They dictate about this coming together. Now, I don't know whether you're aware of the story between Isis and Osiris. Basically, Osiris was cut up into 14 different parts. And the jealous brother-in-law did this. He cut him up and basically sold him up the Nile. Cut all his body parts up and hid him. Isis cried tears beyond tears, and that is where they say the Nile came from. She went on a search to find her husband, and she found bit, another body part, another bit, and she started to put him back together. And as she put him back together, this is, first of all, the dismembering, cutting up into parts, scattered, and then the remembering was bringing Osiris back together. That's what she did. Now, she put together 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 13 parts. We are the 14th part, because we are the part of humanity that brings everything back together. And that is when the masculine and feminine comes back into wholeness, because then that's what happens with Osiris. She was able to procreate with him, and they were able to have their child Horus. So you can see, I mean, like, I could go on about Egypt mythology, like, till the cows come home, as you know. But you understand the importance of the twin flame connection, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, Osiris and Isis, and how they came together. And they're probably one of the most prevalent gods and goddesses in Egypt. And they're pretty much turned up at every temple in every place. So it's really important about that union. And of course, their union, was a very important union as well. So so there's a lot of information out there that will kind of like cross over to the ancient wisdom of twin flames, of Mother Mary, of Yeshua. I mean, if you look at Yeshua now, Jesus, he passed on and he went over to the other side. Yet he still visited Mary, and they had their twin flame connection, and they worked with their masculine and feminine energies, even though he was like in ethereal form. So if you want to go back, and you are a cross-refer, and you want to go back to those times and then have a look at what it means to the twin flame now, I mean, there is a lot of relevance. Now, there is so much more that I want to speak to about on twin flames, and I think maybe it is for you to digest this, and then I'm going to start talking more about my experiences in this time as a twin flame, which will help you in the modern day and now. If you feel that you've got one of these tumultuous relationships which are up and down and you're bouncing off the walls, because they're not, you cannot work your way through a twin flame relationship and try and fix the problems between you on a marriage counseling kind of like level. You have to look at everything in energy eyes. And when you start to look at your twin flame relationship through the energy eyes and have the higher understanding, the bottom line is, in twin flame relationships, it will always direct you back to you. So you will step out of your box to go and save that twin flame and get them on track and try and bring them to you. But it's no point, because you get to the point where you're exhausted and it directs you back to yourself, because that whole lesson of being a twin flame is, I choose me. I choose me. And then you step out your box to try and connect with them because they're in their negative box and they're not doing their healing, whatever it might be. You get bounced back and you just get exhausted again, and you say, I choose me again. So that is what the whole, I believe, lesson of twin flame is. about choosing you. And there's no selfishness in that. But as you go through the lessons and as you go through the journey and you understand it, you'll understand where I'm coming from with that. Anyway, I'm going to leave this with you to digest. And yeah, I think it's a subject that needs to be spoken about now. So yeah, thank you for listening. And I will see you on video again soon. Love, love, love.